Hi everyone, welcome back to Diamond Delight. I'm super excited for you guys today because we have a different type of video than normal for you. We are going to be going over different stretches, different tips and techniques to help maintain hand health and overall body health, just to make sure that we're taking care of our bodies so that we can keep on doing these crafts that we love for years to come. So I did go to school to get my doctorate in occupational therapy. And so throughout those courses, throughout my work experience, I've seen many people that struggle with pain or stiffness in the hands or fingers, whether it's arthritis, whether it's repetitive stress injuries like carpal tunnel syndrome. We see it all the time. And really, especially when we're crafting, diamond painting, other kinds of crafts where we're doing those repetitive motions over and over again, we really can see it take a wear and tear on our hands. It can impact our joints, our back, our eyesight. And so I did just want to put a disclaimer out there that this video is not intended to replace any kind of professional medical advice. If you guys are having extensive pain, stiffness, then I do recommend going in to see your doctor or another healthcare professional. These are simply just techniques that I like to do as a preventative / maintenance program for me to just try to make sure I'm keeping everything healthy and that, like I said before, I can keep on doing these activities for a long time to come. So if you guys are interested in doing these stretches and these tips along with me, that's great. But I would check in with a healthcare professional first just to make sure that these are appropriate for you to do. So the first exercise that I really like to do is a wrist flexion and extension exercise. This is a great one to do before you start crafting. You can do it during a break in crafting. You can do it after crafting. It's a great one just to do all throughout the day. Not only for crafting, but also if you find yourself on the computer all day, hunched over a desk all day. This can be a really nice one to open up the muscles in the wrist. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put your hand straight out in front of you. You're going to put your hand up like you're telling somebody stop. You're going to take your other hand, put it on the palm of the hand that's outreached, and just gently bring it in closer to you. So we're really trying to get more bend through the back of the hand here. I do recommend having a little bend in the elbow just so it's not completely locked out, and give it a nice pull towards you. You can hold it there for a couple seconds. You can pulse it a few times. And then you're going to want to switch to the other hand. Again, having a slight bend in the elbow, pulling it towards you, and getting a nice stretch there. The next one, we're going to do the opposite motion. So we're going to put our hand in front of us, slight bend in the elbow, and then point your hand down, like you're showing someone your nails. And then you're going to put your hand on the back of your hand and pull it in towards you. This one feels really nice to stretch out those extensor tendons. And to the other side too. If you want even more of a stretch, you can bend those fingers in, and that will really be stretching out the full length of those tendons, so that when you push in, you're really going to feel that stretch. If that's a little bit too much, then just open those fingers. Modification too, while you're coming up here, if this feels like too much of a stretch, again, you can bend those fingers. And that way you're not going to get as much of a stretch. If you want more, straighten them. You're going to want to do this 5 to 10 times on each side and try to repeat it about 4 times a day. Never hurts to throw a couple of wrist circles in there where you're just rotating your wrists in circular motions. You can do it with the fingers open and close your fingers a couple times, spread them apart and together. But I just kind of do these as needed. I don't have a particular set schedule for that. The next set of exercises I want to show you are called flexor tendon glides, and flexing is just coming in the hand like this, and so we're doing some exercises to try to help those tendons stay nice and mobile as we're moving our hands throughout the day. I will go ahead and let you guys know that there are a few different protocols out there in terms of what the correct order is to do for these exercises. So I'm just going to show you the one that I've come across most often, but just note that it does vary a little bit from recommendation to recommendation. So for this exercise, you're going to follow a series of hand movements. I'm going to go ahead and show you each of them first, and then we'll do them all together. So you're going to start with your hand with the wrist in neutral, so not too bent, not too extended, all of your digits extended. So in the hand we have 3 joints, 1, 2, and 3. And so I'm going to be referring to those as I move my hand and bend into different positions. So the first position, you just start with your hand nice and straight. Second position, you're going to bend at this first joint, keeping the rest of the fingers straight. Kind of looks like a duck head. The third position, you're going to make a hook fist. So we're straightening this first joint and bending the second and third. It'll look like this, like you're making a hook with your hand. And then the third position, or the fourth position, is called a flat fist. So you're going to bend the first digit, keep the second digit bent, and then straighten the third. And so it looks like this. So in series, it looks like 1, 2, thumb can be out or to the side, 3, and 4. And you're going to hold each of those poses for about 3 to 5 seconds. You are going to repeat this activity about 10 to 15 times and try to do it 2 to 3 times throughout the day. So just to kind of show you what that would look like, you'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Then you go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. And again, you'd repeat that, doing it about 10 times, just trying to get these tendons in your flexor radiculum to move and stay nice and mobile. Then, of course, you would do that on the other hand. Next thing we're going to talk about are shoulder circles. You're going to come forward, up, back, and down with your shoulders, essentially making a circle. And I like to think of a pencil coming straight out of my shoulder, and I'm trying to draw some circles on an imaginary chalkboard with it. And then you can go backwards, you can also go forward. You can do one shoulder at a time, or you can do both shoulders together. Your shoulders may be a little tight if you're used to sitting in a hunched position. So this next stretch is to try to help loosen up your shoulders and open up that shoulder girdle. This next exercise is for shoulder external rotation. And you're just placing an arm up on the wall at a 90-degree angle and turning your body away from that arm so that you're really opening up that shoulder. You can see it's helpful if you pivot back and forth a little bit. You can hold it at the end range. You don't want to push it to the point where it's painful, but you should feel a good stretch. And if you find a doorway, you can even do both hands at once by placing either hand on the end of the doorway and then just taking small steps forward to get that stretch on both arms at the same time. For this next section, I just want to touch on some key introductory information to ergonomics. These are really helpful because incorporating these into your work setup or your crafting routine can help prevent a lot of potential traumas or injuries. So it's really great to just make sure you take a moment to set up your workstation to be in good alignment. There's a 90-90-90 rule where you're trying to keep your knees at a 90-degree angle, your hips at a 90-degree angle, and your elbows at a 90-degree angle. So you can adjust the height of your chair to accomplish that. If, say, your desk is taller and you need to raise your chair and now you lose the 90-degree angles in your knees, you can place a footrest under them. So you're really just trying to keep everything at that right angle posture, and that can really help you to keep good alignment, to keep from hunching over. Try to sit with your back straight against the back of the chair. You can put in a lumbar support at the lower back. All of these things can really help to A, make you more comfortable, and B, prevent getting some of these injuries. Next, I just want to talk about your general posture when you're diamond painting or crafting. When we sit at a desk, we tend to want to slump forward with our shoulders leaning in forward, and we want to really try to bring those shoulders back into scapular retraction. Try to imagine that you're trying to pinch a pencil between the middle of your shoulder blades so that you're really bringing your shoulders back like a soldier. Try not to hike your shoulders up high near your neck. Bring them down into what we call scapular depression, so that instead of being rounded and curved forward with a hunchback, you're bringing your shoulders back and down into nice upright posture. Of course, this can be hard to do all the time, and I definitely have my moments of slouching, but just try to be aware of it, and the more that you can sit in this upright posture, the better it will be for your back and your shoulders. Another thing you want to keep in mind as you're diamond painting is how you are actually using your hands and how you're moving them. So in general, you want to try to keep a neutral wrist, so not super flexed, not super extended, just in a nice neutral position. You want to place items close to you within reaching distance so that you're not constantly reaching far away from you to grab things. So if you can keep your diamond tray close to you, your extra set of diamonds close to you, and work right in front of you, that will help you keep a good posture and alignment. When you're actually positioning your tray, again, try to place it close to you and try to put it in a position where you're not going to have to be constantly making huge movements of that wrist. So if we have it way down here and we're constantly doing this and bending that wrist up and down, or having it behind us and constantly straining that wrist, that can put a lot of pressure on those tendons and nerves as well. So we want to try to keep it nice and close to us, keep that wrist in neutral, and just make small movements between the tray and the actual canvas. You also want to think about how you're gripping your pen. So you can see this one has a different shape to it. You'll kind of find what works for you. They do tend to come with these really small pens out of the box. And so if you find that you're really squeezing really tightly, you're hyperextending your joints like this where they're really bending quite a bit, that's going to be really hard on the fingers over time. You want to try to have a relaxed grip. And you want to try to have a nice bend in all of those digits. And so if you find that you need to put a pencil grip or some tape on the end of the pen to kind of help you have a wider, more relaxed and natural grip, then by all means do that. You can do it cheap at home. You can buy custom pens that have different shapes that are nice for you, but do try to have a nice light bend in those fingers and don't be clenching and holding it so tightly. So nice and relaxed is key. Last thing I want to talk about is taking regular breaks. So I definitely understand when you get in the groove and you just work, 3 hours straight because you're really into diamond painting, but do try to take breaks. There is something called the 20-20-20 rule, both for your arms, your hands, and also for your vision and just your mental capacity. So that 20-20-20 rule refers to every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break at least, and look 20 feet away. So we spend a lot of time looking up really close to us as we're diamond painting. We want to try to focus, take your vision up and away, look at something far away so that you can kind of reset and give your eyes a break. This is a great time too for you to stand up, stretch your arms. You might even want to incorporate some of the stretches that we showed earlier. So it's a great time to work that into, you can get a break and you can do some stretching at the same time. Feels really good to just do that periodically. And if you find that you get captivated in diamond painting and don't remember to take that break, you can always set a timer on your phone every 20 minutes, or maybe you're watching a show and you say at the end of every show, if you're binging a show on Netflix or something, at the end of that 20-minute show, you're gonna get up, take a lap around the couch or the dining table, do some arm stretches, do some shoulder circles, and you'll feel a lot better in the long run. And that pretty much sums it up for my quick review of some of the stretches and body ergonomic principles that I like to practice. Let me know if you have any questions. If you are having any pain or any questions, please do talk with a medical professional. And I will see you guys next time. Happy diamond painting!